instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rangers Podcast. We talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
And if you can hunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And tonight, we're hopping in our time machines. We're going back to 2003 to 2007.
Simpler times. And we are revisiting the J.K. Cinema Urban Legend series. So great.
For those who don't know, it's pure nostalgia fuel. It was one of the ones at the time where, like, you know, we didn't even have, like, you know, we had like Ghost Hunters and all these other shows, and I'll relate things later to other shows, but this was like pure. It was flash, like animation videos, someone doing a docu-series, like a YouTube docu-series before YouTube docu-series were a thing.
Yeah, this is like dawn of the popularity of the internet, right? This is when like urban legends was really like, you know, big. It was like, oh, I saw it on the internet. Well, where'd you see it? Oh, I saw it on the internet. And like, you know, this is the time of like, remember like E-Bombs World and all those websites. This is from Newgrounds, all those websites. This is from the time of that. And this was the one, man. This was like, oh man, this is great, because you show your friends like, dude, did you see J.K. Cinema? They're like, no, what's that? And you'd sit them down, like, what the fuck? Yeah,
and like going back now, like the music, which I have in my notes here, certain things get super silly, but there's also like there's parts where it gets kind of cool, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
But all of it's pure, just like I remember like having my laptop like on my chest in my bed at my mom's house, pillow up, you know, like just like, oh shit, what's up, you know? And so we did that. But before we get into we're gonna call them the canonized 7 episodes of JK Cinema, not the 2 bastardized 8 and rare 9 one. We're not gonna even go into that.
Yeah, because the 9th one is almost like a music video. It's really weird.
Right. Yeah. It's just, it gets a little silly. But before we get into the first 7 parts, the actual parts, I'll be bringing you tonight's jump scare. All right. So for those who don't know, last weekend, your boy and his beautiful bride, we went up to Lake Placid, New York for my little stepsister's wedding. And everyone that is a listener to the show knows about me and my my driving anxiety, or my anxiety in general. Worst is my driving anxiety. But so we drive up Friday. My wife gets out of work at 3. We gas up, we grab snacks, everything's packed up, we load the car. I drive to Hamilton, New Jersey.
What kind of snacks? I need a full picture.
Oh yeah, so we got some chips. So like a pack of, like, I love salt and vinegar. She got I think just plain old, like she likes the baked Lay's kind of Johns, like those ones.
I like those.
We grabbed some mints, because mints really help with anxiety, but they're just awesome on a drive.
Any combos or Pringles?
No combos or Pringles.
Okay. Slim Jims?
No, but I'll tell you, I did end up getting beef. Well, I got some Jack Links in the vending machine when I was there. But we grabbed some stuff because we knew we were going to stop for food, and we were going to stop for money for tolls, stuff like that. So we get going, stop within the first hour and a half, just to make sure I have toll money, and then to find out basically the rest of it. Like, there's one toll that you had to pay, and the rest is toll by plate. And then about, I want to say, halfway through, and this was all highway, so I had 3.5 hours left, and it started hitting me, bro. Like, after we stopped for food and we're going again, ooh baby, did it start hitting me. These long roads, and then at one point, here's where it really hit. I never saw this on my GPS before, but it said like 130 miles to your next exit, so 130 highway.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh no. And Britt, God bless her, she's doing everything she can to quell my, my rampant driving anxiety. We get through it, and I'm like, you know what Eric said, the very end is all just like regular roads, and I was like, hopefully after this it's going to be that next exit to the next, it's 87 west, I want to say. 111 miles, and I was like, at this point, I'm like, I'm like kind of like losing it. She's like playing all kinds of music to get me, like, I'm like, we'll be fine. I have this crazy look in my eye, and I'm like, oh god. Then it starts raining. The exits start. The rain's good. I like the rain.
Oh,
the rain's
okay.
good for me, but like it just starts stretching on me, and I'm like, hey, this fucking road never ends. This drive never ends. So finally, it's because it starts at exit 1, which is a mile, and then exit 2 is like 3 miles. Exit 4 is like 5, and then every other mile is 10 miles. Like our exit is like 10 miles. So I'm like in my shit. Finally get off. I finally get off, and it's Route 9, right? So it's Route 9, and we're about 32 minutes out from the resort, Golden Arrow Resort, or a Golden Arrow Lakefront Resort in Lake Placid, New York, right across from the actual Olympic training facility. It's wild.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I go to my wife. I'm like, hey, it's literally this road. There's no ways to turn off for a long time. It's like literally on the side of a lake. You're going around mountains. So 32 minutes left. I look at Britt and I go, hey, can you text my mom or like Andy or anyone to, if anyone's awake, let them know we'll be there half hour if they want to meet up for a drink or whatever. And it's already late. It's at this point, it's like, like 11:28. And, no one's answering. We're like, all right, that's fine. And we're driving. And I want to say about half hour left, or right after the answer the text, this fucking truck just comes pulling up on me, right? And it only has these little out turns, like little guys you can out turn, and some of them have outhouses, and some of them are like, I don't know,
right.
If you're just trying to like stop for a minute because they know your drive was just nuts. And so this guy's up my ass, and there's the sign that says pass with care. You have the dotted line, so you could pass if no one's coming. But he's not doing it, and he's staying on me for a long time until that goes away. And now the guy's been on me for, I want to say, like 6 minutes, and I'm going a little bit above the speed limit, but I don't know where I'm at. I'm on a windy road, and it's raining, and I'm not trying to, be Billy Badass and, burn rubber here. So I'm going a little bit above the speed limit, and he already loses the time to pass me. So I'm like, all right, let me just next one of these guys I see that I'm like ready for, because he's on me and I'm going above the speed limit. I'm like, I'm gonna pull over. I missed 2 because I'm going too fast, so now I got my eyes down the road, raining, dark, and there's no street lights. It's pitch black, just my headlights. Finally, I go whoom, like I just shoot, and he's like on my ass. So I think he's gonna clip me, but I get over in time. Whoom, and I see him up the road because there's no lights. So I just see his taillights and headlights up the road. He's gone. So about, I want to say maybe 14 minutes later, and there's no roads that turn off. There's none of that. All of a sudden, another truck's on my ass. I'm like, what the hell? And this time he can pass. He stays on me for about 4 minutes. And then finally he goes around me. It's the same fucking truck, same plates, same big white Dodge Ram. He goes and I once again I watch him pull up the road, and he's gone. But now at this point, because he was gunning it, at this point now there are turnoff roads. Right. So now we're about to be at the point where it's like 10 minutes left to the resort.
Yeah.
Same truck comes flying, dude, like buzzes me, flying back towards me. Whoom! It's the same truck. Me and Brett are like, what the fuck? And like, I'm just trying to like keep it cool, but my foot gets super heavy. I'm in this background, I don't know, and I'm like 10 minutes to get there. This guy in upstate New York, 20 minutes from Canada. He has a gun, maybe. I don't know. I got nothing. I got my knife, this to beat. I don't know. So I'm like, let's get to the resort, and I don't stop until there's like 2 minutes, and I'm by the Olympic Resort, and it was wild. So like, I texted you about it, and you were saying, yeah, it was funny. You were like, he was probably just fucking with you guys have PA plates, and I'm like, yeah, no, I thought that, and I also thought about like maybe this guy's just like tracking a buck or a deer.
Nah.
No, but here's what I didn't realize until we were going home because it was pitch black.
Yeah.
Dude, most of that road that we were going, like I said, no real turnoffs, and it's mostly lake on the one side. Okay. So you're going lakeside. I have no clue how this guy the first time passed me, disappeared, and then I don't know, like I said, 14 minutes later was on my ass again and follow me because I was looking around in the daytime and I didn't see any turnoff where he could have. And it was a
ghost truck.
It wasn't a ghost truck. I know, I saw it on, paranormal caught on camera on fucking, the Clinton Road and the truck, the white truck that bothers people. Yeah. But like, no, dude, it was wild. It was corporeal. It was a truck, or it was, it was just like, if I didn't see it and know it was a truck, I'd be like, oh, that's spooky. But it was spooky regardless. Because it's some dude tracking me on the road. Yeah. It's got me dead to rights. I'm in a white Ford Escape. He's like, this must be a soccer mom. I don't know. And like,
who knows?
It was creepy. And like I said, the last 10 minutes, I was like, all right, we're getting to this resort. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not going to get out and fist fight. Like, what can you do? You don't have anything. And this guy's obviously playing some sillies on you.
Who knows, man? I grew up in an area where there's a lot of that stuff that went on. And it's just, sometimes people just like to fucking, buzz cars that are just from other states because they're tired of people coming to the area.
Hey, man, I get that. I just, like I said, that from the first to the second interaction, especially after seeing the drive on the way home, like, I don't know how that happened. I really don't. Yeah. And, but, yeah, no, I'll go. Look, I'm not saying it's supernatural. I'm saying it's fucking creepy is what I'm saying.
No, I totally, dude. Totally.
But then Britt, that first night, had the best joke. So, like, we were like, oh, we should have planned better. We didn't realize we were going to get there after midnight. And we're sitting there, and we're like, all right, let's go hit up the vending machine. So we go, I get some Jack Links, that's what's in there. We get some stuff. And we forgot that we didn't realize that we didn't fully close the room door.
Yeah.
And she's like, what if we opened it and the truck was in there? Just a big white truck, a big white Dodge Ram in the room revving its engine at us.
The truck is coming out of the room having just, toweled off.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh.
He's looking for some ice.
Yeah, it's like, the pressure isn't that good in that shower. It wasn't. I couldn't wait to get home and get a real fucking shower. Because lovely resort, but the shower sucked balls. It looked great. It wasn't full.
Never been all the way up there. I mean, I've been past there, but I've never been to Lake Placid. I've been way past there.
Yeah. Wedding was great. Everything was great, but that truck thing was fucking weird. I was like,
well, it was there just for you. Did that snap you out of your anxiety?
Well, no, I was already off the highway. At this point, I was on this Route 9, so it was
it wanted to keep it going for you.
Yeah, it was trying to give me something else. It was it was a nice little poke of like, hey, don't forget.
So what you're saying, it was another danger.
It was clearly another danger.
There you
hence being a jump scare. It had to be.
There it is.
Whew, man. Wild.
Well, cool, buddy.
Yeah. And then we decided the next day, Britt was like, let's go on an adventure. Let's do the scenic route. Honestly, it wasn't that much longer. It had like an hour and a half on the drive.
Would you take Route 9 all the way down?
We took Route 9 all the way to just all like, dude, it took us like, it was so cool. Dude, I didn't even know there was that many small towns, especially in New York. In one state, dude, it was nuts. Like, New York, New Jersey, all the way. And I didn't even know there were still mountains in New Jersey. Like,
well, they don't go anywhere.
We were still in the Catskills. I just didn't know. And like, we're like literally an hour and 45, then like we're 45 minutes away from my brother-in-law's to pick up Brucey, my dog. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to see mountains for a long time. And I'm like, still fucking mountains?
Yeah.
Mountains
Northern Jersey has mountains.
I didn't know that, brother.
Yeah, now you do.
I do. It was a wild ride. It was great. The ride home was awesome. We never get to do stuff like that just because, life. But no, it was awesome. And we encountered a crazy stalker truck, a bored guy around midnight.
Cool.
Walking with your boy.
Well, it happens. You got back alive, and you got it to tell the story.
I did. That I did. It was a wonderful time.
Well, that's beautiful, Clark.
All right, guys. Now that you heard my wild Lake Placid story, we're gonna send it over to Jay for tonight's haunted headline.
Thanks, Kim. So, according to Harvard researchers, have aliens been on Earth all along?
Maybe.
Well, instead of some far-off galaxy, a new paper suggests extraterrestrial life might come from underground. Been saying this all along, right? A lot of people that suggest this. The piece, written by researchers from Harvard and Montana Technological University, suggests that unidentified anomalous phenomenon, such as UFOs, may already be, quote, present in Earth's environment. The key to this explanation lies in the existence of crypto-terrestrials.
Yes, sir.
I coined that phrase. That's mine.
Yeah. Yes. That's also yours.
Instead of coming from another dimension or time, crypto-terrestrials may have hidden underground or on the moon or disguised themselves as humans. All right, that's like three wildly different things.
Dude, but there's one in that article that I read earlier.
Yeah.
It's crypto something where it's literally them going, this could be like terrestrial angels or like fairy folk. So it's they
that's here. That's coming up.
I'm sorry. God, I'm sorry.
Until now, common UAP explanations, and don't forget, we don't say UFO anymore. It's UAP.
Exactly.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Were often classified as either extraterrestrial, that's new on me, which means advanced future humans returning to the past. Oh, I get the word. Extraterrestrial. Okay. Outside of time. Or interdimensional, meaning that they arise from creatures somewhere beyond space and time.
Our interdimensional beings are...
Oh, yeah, that famous one. Floor that on Coast to Coast.
Yeah. What we know.
Yeah, what we know is aliens or not. Yeah, that's on that one Tool album, too.
Yeah. Yes.
The cryptoterrestrial hypothesis challenges these possibilities and presents a model that UAPs may come from something or someone secretly inhabiting Earth. What if there's portals underneath Earth?
Terrence Howard just said it on Rogan.
I'm glad you brought him up. That guy's a fucking moron. Oh my God, that guy's a fucking moron.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, what?
Hey, man, you don't know.
I do know, actually. Do you know how many scientific individuals stopped and just picked his shit apart piece by piece?
I'm sure, dude. I'm having fun.
That dude made me angry.
I'm sure. It was funny. Eric, after watching it, was like, "Yo, that guy's a fucking idiot." Eric said that too. I was like, "All right, man.
Yeah,
nice.
Don't give me the pullback. We haven't heard all the information nonsense.
I didn't. I'm just.
I see the face.
I see my face.
So there's types of cryptoterrestrials. Within their paper, these researchers propose for 4 possible categories for these unexplained beings. First is the human cryptoterrestrial. These creatures are said to be ancient Homo sapiens that, once a technologically advanced society, have since been nearly extinguished. It is theorized that remnants of the civilization exist in secrecy, causing mysterious occurrences. By the way, that's the basis for the H.P. Lovecraft story, The Mound.
Oh, Howard did it first.
Yeah, and it's in the Southwest, too, which is amazing.
It's ridiculous that Harvard scientists are like...
That's literally the plot of that story.
They're just like, hey, you know what I heard from H.P. Lovecraft? They're like, what's the story of the Mound?
Let's see if all of these go into a Lovecraft story. Let's do it. Next variation is the hominid or theropod cryptoterrestrials. Oh boy. Non-human creatures with similar abilities. These beings have evolved in stealth to an advanced level. They could possibly be the descendants of unknown intelligent dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Which ones would be the most intelligent?
What do you mean?
Like you, I know you know a lot about. You're a dino dude.
Which one's the most intelligent?
Which dinosaur do you think would evolve to the most intelligent?
they're not that intelligent. They all turned into birds. All birds are descendants of meat-eating dinosaurs known
Right.
as
What's the smartest bird?
Raven, maybe?
Attaboy.
But they're about as intelligent as a dog. Maybe a little bit more.
Dogs can't talk, though.
I'm just saying. I mean, they're smart, but they're not like, this isn't Jurassic Park shit where they're like opening doors and like sending love notes to people or whatever they do in that movie. I don't know. Sorry, back to the bullshit. Former extraterrestrial or extratempestrial cryptoterrestrials. Damn,
These are my favorite. Yeah.
Imagine putting that on a job application.
Yeah. Yep.
Make up the third category. This mouthful of estrials describes creatures that may have originated from a faraway place or time, but have not since come to inhabit the Earth or Moon. That would be the Shadow Out of Time. The Lovecraft story. We'll get to that. Finally, magical cryptoterrestrials.
This is my favorite. I'm sorry.
Are Harvard's equivalent to earthbound angels. They possess not the power of technology, but of magic, and resemble the creatures of traditional European folklore, such as fairies, elves, nymphs, etc. But isn't just all like highly advanced technology indistinguishable from magic?
Not according to Harvard.
I'm not talking about Harvard. I'm talking about like literally anything.
Sure. I think physics. I love like watching like physics engineers. I love their experiments and what they do.
Yeah.
I love just like watching them use magnetic forces and currents of electricity. Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah. I mean this article goes on to say a few more things which we basically just said. But this is just some fun. They're just having funsies around here, man. They're enjoying.
That's what that's your $1 million Harvard education right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about, they bring up David Grush, the former intelligence official last year who testified about the crash retrieval and reverse engineering, which I believe fully.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
dude, where do you think your iPhone comes from?
I don't have an
iPhone technology.
But my flip phone folds. I have a smartphone that folds.
Well, where do you think that came from?
I know where
that came from Gleep Glorp's cockpit from Roswell.
Which always gets a laugh out of you when I go, fiber optics, because they got the fiber optics.
That's not even that advanced, but okay.
For audio, it is, pal.
Okay. All right. But yeah, man, it looks like things about it are about to pop off. I mean, according to this fun article that really told us nothing.
Like we're ahead. Me and you have been ahead of Harvard's study for fucking years.
Yeah, I'm like crypto-terrestrial. That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, we're like, come on, man.
Come on.
Go listen to our 100th episode. Shut up.
I think this guy got a collection of Lovecraft stories. And he's like,
just one guy. It's like actually like a think tank of Harvard.
Okay,
University.
a think tank bought 10 copies of the collected works. And that's where they got half of those ideas.
I just got this in the mail today, though, buddy.
Good. Shut up for you. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That literally will help you. It's in alphabetical order. It's an encyclopedia. So if I say, the vaults of Eubambus, you'll be like, oh, what the fuck is that?
All you'll hear on the episodes of Learning Lessons. Yeah.
You can cut this if you want.
No, it's fine. We'll keep it.
And that's all I got on that one. We're ahead of the curve. Basically what I'm saying is Ken and I should have honorary doctorates from Harvard.
We should. They should give us the grants. We'll get we would have had that for them, like with better names.
We show up like the dudes from fucking Step Brothers in our tuxedos, but with sneakers on, and you know.
And we're here to fuck shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're doing.
I fuck around, dude. That's what I do.
Yeah, fuck around, dude. All right. So those were a little bit longer jump scares and haunted headlines that we usually do, but we figured they were both in need of explanation there. But
sure.
Mine was just anecdotal and a fun time of me encountering crazy upstate New York pumpkins.
However, this is the time for a new T-shirt.
Let's hear it.
I identify as crypto-terrestrial. Boom.
Boom. All right.
Where it to all the cons.
Who can we call out? I don't know. We can just do it DIY. Let's do it ourselves.
Okay. All right. With markers on a white T-shirt.
Yeah, we'll just make a trip to Michael's or Joanne Fabrics. Design. Well, you're the artist. You'd be better at that than me. All I draw is the S. That's all I got, and the 3D square. That's all I got for you, buddy.
The 3D square.
You know what I'm talking
about? Cube?
Yeah, well, the cube. That's it, dude. Shut up. All right, well, now that we got the T-shirt in the bag,
Yeah.
we're gonna move on. All right, so before we get a breakdown here, Jay, when did I don't know because I don't know the exact date, but I can tell you around the same time and what this did to me. So just to start off, like, what do you remember about first finding this series?
I think I found them on eBaum's World. I think that's where I saw them the first time, because we used to, dude, that was the website back in the day. You remember?
Oh yeah.
There were games, there were
night.
videos, and it was up like that was like one of like three websites that people uploaded to, and that was like where all the cool shit was. There was Flash animation games,
Newgrounds,
Newgrounds too
as well. Yeah.
Yep. There were soundboards, and there was fucking short videos. And I remember when this came on, it was like a longer format one. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't see believe it or not, the first one is not the first one I saw. The first one I saw was the Ghosts one.
Okay.
Because that picture they hit you with.
Yeah.
I was like, above the guy sleeping or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I quickly found the rest of them, and I just would watch them, and then I showed my brothers, anyone who was over. I remember showing my uncle, who was like, "Dude, I used to see that. I used to see that." You find all the crazies in your family when you show them paranormal videos.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But these are awesome. And at the time, I mean, you watch them now, so we should say, if you haven't watched these yet, folks, go up on YouTube, look for just search JK Cinema Urban Legends. There should be a playlist. Watch them and then come back and listen to the episode, because it's going to be relevant. Because if you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, and just give it a minute, because these are old. These are 20 years old.
Well, the thing is too. So now they also have a supercut. It's like an hour 9-minute version.
Don't do the
all of
supercut.
them. Yeah. So they added like new stuff and like new text to speech stuff.
They changed the audio.
And right. And we'll get into it because I have these notes here that we put here. But when I first at the time that I first found it, there was only, I think, 2 of them. It was only at first. It was only the Fact or Fiction and the Ghosts. Which
maybe that might be the same case with me too. Yeah.
Right, and then as they started coming out, I started just looking for them, and I became a fan. And I didn't so much like the UFO one, just because it was I didn't. Well, we'll get into it. But but then the last one and was part 7. Which was my favorite at the time, but going back, I have a different favorite. But that one became the one that stuck with me the most. So,
all right, why don't we run through them all?
All right. So, I guess I'll take point here. All right. So the first one is just called straight up JK Cinema presents the Urban Legends series, Urban Legends Fact or Fiction. Now at this point, it opens up with the title card and this like funny, like kind of like low end hip hop beat that's supposed to be spooky. And then it cuts right into
Roller Coaster.
Yeah, part 1, Roller Coaster by the Ohio Players, and they start talking about the cover of the album, Honey. Yeah. Now, on the cover of this album, there is an actress or a model who's dripping honey on herself. Now, the legend goes that this model that had a reaction with the honey in the fiberglass, platform that she was kneeling on to get this photo. There was a reaction, and it basically like turned into like a super glue, and it kind of melted her legs into the platform. So when they went to remove her, it removed all the skin and everything, and then she embarked on a lawsuit because it ruined her modeling career because of the horrific scars, and she couldn't get a hold of the band. So eventually she storms into the studio, and the manager of the band is so tired of this woman, who they disfigured completely, that he basically stabs her to death right outside the recording booth. And the scream you hear in the very beginning, before the song takes off, is the manager murdering this model.
Yeah.
Now, that is an urban legend. Goes around. I mean, we could literally say here that it's not true.
It isn't, because it's also ridiculous. Why would they be recording and then leave that in there? Because that's they hit you with the little if you want. Yeah, I don't know if we're dropping it in here, but you get that, and it's supposed to sound like, oh, that's her getting stabbed to death while they're recording. It's like, what?
And then at the end of the clip, it goes, they left it in as an homage to her and the manager. It's like, what?
Yeah,
no, they didn't.
But at the time, you're maybe.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
Because our bullshit tools haven't developed yet. Yeah, because it was internet. This must be real. No.
Yeah, someone knows some stuff you don't, and that's you're getting the goods now.
Right.
Because you're like, people aren't that clever, right?
No, I don't know. But the next one was around for a while. From 3 Men and a Little Lady.
I think it's 3 Men and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby. I'm sorry, that was the second one. 3 Men and a Baby. It's like Ted Danson and whoever the other guy is.
Steve Guttenberg and
the
third. Who's the third? Oh, it's Tom Selleck.
Right. It's just it's a throwaway, but there's a cutout of somebody on this, you get those celebrity cutouts,
Yeah.
And it's in the window somewhere. And I remember this was going around for years, and this was before you could just pull up a movie and be like, wait, where? And people were like, oh, there's the ghost of a little boy in that movie. And that was the thing when we were kids. I was like, no way. Yeah. And we were in high school, so I'm like, no, there's the ghost of a little boy in the background. Everyone's seen it, and the whole set was haunted, and this and this. Yeah. And then you get down to it, it's just a cutout.
Yeah, well, the thing was too, one night, Chris, Joe Pierce, my brother, all of us, we were having a big sleepover, and we decided to find this, and one of the later ones, which I'll go over again.
Yeah.
And we found it. We were like, oh my god, there it is. You find it. It's
oh my god,
and it's tucked away behind two blinds, whatever you call it. And it turns out that it's another prop from the movie because Ted Danson's character is an actor in the movie, and it's a cutout with him with a top hat and a suit, but it cuts it out to look like a little kid with almost like a bowl cut. And look, it's just a cutout from the movie. But it scared the shit out of you when you found it in the 90s, and you were like, oh my god. Exactly. Ghost Kid, caught on film.
Ghost Kid.
Yeah, Ghost Kid. So yeah, that was it's a good segment. They cover it well in their own right at the time. But then we move on to their next segment, which is sex sells.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually relevant. This isn't bullshit at all. This is all true. But the ones they give you is the first they start out with magazine ads, and they bring up this ad where it's a woman on a swing, kind of cowboy outfit, cowboy boots, but they add an extra leg swinging backward. So there's two legs going forward. There's two legs going forward and one leg going backward, and that's supposed to invoke something in your carnal mind.
Well, it's that specifically is just that your brain picks up that something's off, so it makes you kind of remember it. It's like a mnemonic device, or not I forget the word for it, but it basically makes your brain kind of remember it. It doesn't know why, but it sticks in it. You're like, wait, something's wrong there for a second. It makes you kind of give a second glance, or there's there's a recall that kind of happens. So it's
right.
That's why they do that.
Exactly. So the next one they go, and there's also other ones too where they don't go on this, but if you look at old McDonald's and Burger King commercials, in the lettuce they'll put dollars hidden. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. But now with AI, everyone has extra fingers. So.
Exactly. So with the next one is embeds.
Yeah.
They embed stuff, and it's adding sex to ads and things.
Yeah.
But also that includes it's fuck, die, kill, and skull images. Yeah. So those are supposed to resonate with you in your mind, your subconscious mind when you see it. So one of them, they do a Pepsi can with this one arrow where it's almost fluorescent lights, and when you link two cans up, it spells sex. They go into the Lion King.
Oh yeah.
Which the thing, but it actually says SFX, but yeah, so there's other there's other alcohol ads where the smoke lines up as sex and all this stuff.
The Little Mermaid castle with the dick.
Right. So yeah, that's the next part with Disney cartoons. The Little Mermaid castle with the dick on it, which I found too at my buddy's basement, the original, and I was like,
oh, we still have it at my mom's house.
Right, there you go. Right, and then what's the Great Mouse Adventure? Whatever it is, whatever that one is.
Is it the Rescuers?
It might be the Rescuers.
There's a topless woman.
bare tit lady in a window, and it's like, all right.
There's a ton of them. Disney has a ton of them.
They didn't go into the Little Mermaid with the preacher getting the bone.
Oh, the boner, yeah.
Popping the boner. That's wild.
Yeah.
That one is fucking wild, my friend.
Yeah, it's just there. It's just there. I mean, there's other ones hidden in there, too. I mean, there's that little one at the end of Little Mermaid, or no, Beauty and the Beast, like when Gaston falls off the top, like a little skull flashes in his eye, which is cool. That's not so much of like a hidden sex thing, but there's some in Aladdin, like
teenager,
the monkeys.
take off your clothes.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah.
That, and then there's also the monkey says, oh shit. There's a bunch of other shit, and like they were going wild back then, man.
Yeah, there was a night, like this night when we found the ghost kid.
Yeah.
We were going through all our VHSs. I don't know. It was probably Chris. Let's be honest. It was probably Chris. Yeah. Who's like, let's do this night of finding all this crazy shit that I've heard and whoever the fuck it is.
That's a good idea, man. Without an internet archive.
It was, yeah. It was good. But that was the end of that one, because these were all like 7 to 11-minute episodes.
Yeah, they were all short.
Yeah.
With fun interstitials of screaming and faces. And
yeah, right. Yeah. So the next one we move on to is Urban Legends 2, The Dead.
Yep.
Now this one, it did creep me out. I gotta be honest.
Yeah. In 2000.
Yeah. So this one they start off with like, literally, this is how we record.
Literally.
In February of 2000, Fox aired the special Who Wants to Marry a Multi-Millionaire? But during the filming, one of the contestants died suddenly backstage. What caused her sudden demise? Why is Fox so tight-lipped about the tragedy?
Just covered his mouth.
Who wants to marry a millionaire?
Yeah, and did this kind of with his
cheap
voice.
wedding gowns.
Yeah, the guy clearly didn't have any kind of like really good audio recording equipment, which becomes very apparent later. But he starts talking about a show on Fox called Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire, which was an actual show.
Yep.
Now, the rumor was that one of the contestants died. I haven't confirmed it. I haven't, I don't know. Maybe one of them did, and this is where it came from. But they, Fox, it's a newer show. This is the era of like starting up these reality shows. Mm-hmm. And they decided they had to find these gowns because they all these, Who Wants to Marry a Billionaire? All the women need to have these gowns. So they settle in a little, like a little shop, little bridal shop. I forget the city. I should have wrote it down. But they decided on this, and they found some gowns there. Now, they give them to the contestants wearing it, and one of them gets very sick and dies. Now, it turns out that that little shop in that small town, they recycled the wedding gown from a funeral, took it, put it in the shop. Like, they just were like, okay, and we'll sell it. The family, whoever it was, sold it to the shop.
Ripped it right off the dead body. The head fell off. One of the arms came off. Like, fuck it, put it right on the rack.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was like Walmart. They're like, let's not clean it. Goes right up there.
Shit stains in the pants.
Yep. Well, in the skirt, or whatever you call it.
I'm just talking about Walmart.
Oh, yeah. Total shit stains. Which is where I shop, so we're good.
Hey, so do we, man. Who can afford to shop anywhere else?
You go to Target, you're like, oh, God, we should get back to Walmart. But you go to Target for your toys. That's what you do. But, so basically, one of these gowns that was taken from this shop that was obviously reused from a funeral, it ends up on one of these contestants who dies, and it turns out later from blood testing that embalming fluid and formaldehyde basically killed this woman. She was poisoned.
Yeah, she absorbed it through her skin because it was probably in the fabric.
In the fabric.
Yep.
Is it true? I haven't been able to confirm. All I've seen is deny, but it's a good fucking urban legend.
Yeah, no, it's a good one, and that's why they led with it.
Yeah.
And then they hit you with James Dean's little bastard Porsche.
Yeah,
which we covered that in a previous episode. I think we did it twice actually.
Right. Well, because it was the Hollywood and the other one, but they basically probably cursed objects or something. But I mean,
that one
other
speaks for itself.
Yeah. After his crash, then he died. 4 other parts went to different people, killed them. You can look it up. It's easy enough to go.
Yep. Then we got the Death in Oz. Remember, this one went around the world. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. And this is the one where I found it personally because they all decided to run out and go somewhere, and they didn't know where to find it. And at the right time, I looked up, and I saw it in the back when they were rolling down the yellow brick road. And see, in the original version of this, they actually have the original clip, which is just a long-necked bird swinging out. It's like a crane swinging its head out, and it comes back in, and it's, But in the remake, they do what's still circling now, which I've actually gone after different Instagram channels. It's been like, bro, this is fake. It's them adding animation to the background, and it actually looks like a person hanging, doesn't move like it does. But the original version is literally a bird's head swinging out and swinging back in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that one went around for forever. I mean, people are like, no, it's this. No, it's a bird. No, he's hanging himself. It's this. And then you have somebody else. Then they had like someone that was like on the movie. He's like, no, someone totally hung themselves. And then they found that guy wasn't even on the movie. Like, it's just.
Well, what they ended up doing was they ended up saying the story behind it is that they were treated so poorly, all the little people on the cast were treated so poorly, and they were rife with, alcoholism and, snorting fentanyl off each other's boners.
Whoa.
I don't know what this
Did they have fentanyl back then? I don't think so.
No. They were just throwing vodka on dicks and snorting it.
Whoa. I don't know.
But apparently Judy Garland treated them so bad.
She was like, punching him and kicking him and shit.
Because all she was allowed to do while filming that was drink coffee and smoke cigarettes.
Wow.
I literally watched her talking in a documentary interview. And
I don't want to go, this is going to be the Judy Garland podcast, but they really fucked with her on that movie.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they told her she gained a little too much weight and all this stuff. All she was allowed to intake was cigarettes and fucking coffee.
Wonderful.
Like, you'll be good. But yeah, no, so that turns out, look, that one is fake. Confirmed.
Yes. Oh, yeah, confirmed.
Is literally animation. The one that you see of like a...
Yeah.
It's literally animation. And then he added it in the fucking... his, remastered quote-unquote version.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But then we move on to... This is actually fucked up.
Oh, the Poltergeist deaths.
Poltergeist deaths.
There's been so much said about this movie. It's between this one and The Exorcist. Like, talk about, cursed productions.
Yeah, The Omen.
That one, too. I would say these two more over that one. But
right.
You get it's basically, it's cursed because the part in the swimming pool when the skeletons come up, those are real skeletons.
Yeah.
Which, that's an old... People have been using real skeletons in movies for a long time. So it's not that big of a deal, but... Everyone dying during the production.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, see, now, here's one thing where they got a little mixed up. Because two of the actors that died.
Yeah.
They were from the sequel.
Yeah.
And they both died. Two of the other ones were the main cast, the original, died after the filming. But do you think our friend Jenny ever used real skeletons in any kind of productions?
I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
You're going to have to.
I'll ask her. She seems like the type that would.
Well, right. She's a witch, right? So she's like
a fire witch. She can control campfires. We have photographic evidence.
Right.
We have documentation.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen some of this, which puts the kibosh on my whole theory.
Right.
But yeah. So all right. So but in this, you got Will Sampson, who was the Native American guy from I think the second one. He wasn't in the apartment in the third.
No, I think it's the second one. It's the guy who played Chief in in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Right.
Then Dominique Dunn, she got murdered by her boyfriend.
Yep.
Like a murder-suicide.
Yep.
Julian Beck, the guy who played Kanan, that's the second one. That dude looked like he was... I'm surprised he was actually alive. I don't know. It looks like a whole Weekend at Bernie's kind of situation.
Well, he totally had huge cancer. Like it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
He was wasting away, and he treated that as his last, and it was. He knew, and he treated. He's like, I'm going out, fucking creepy as fuck. And then the terrible circumstances of Heather O'Rourke.
Killed on set during that helicopter thing.
No. She had a heart condition.
Heather O'Rourke?
Yeah.
I thought she died. I thought there was an on-screen thing and she died during they were doing something and she got
that's
crushed.
Twilight Zone. That's Twilight Zone.
That's Twilight Zone. That's right. Okay.
We'll get to that. But no. Heather O'Rourke, she had this crazy heart disease where her heart, it was like an enlarged heart, but it was basically she started retaining too much fluid and she died of a heart disease.
Okay.
Which that's the biggest one contributed to it, that they glazed over.
Okay.
But they're saying maybe that her being a part of that so young, blah blah blah, and they also go into the rituals of Hollywood and blah blah.
Oh,
but
boy.
Yeah, that's what happened there. But that was the end, part 2. Now,
She died from a bowel obstruction that
bowel obstruction,
previously
heart,
they
okay.
dismissed as Crohn's disease,
okay, there we go.
and she probably died of sepsis then because she had a bowel obstruction.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean.
I don't know why I thought helicopter crash.
Well, because it goes back to that horrible. What's his name? Jeez, Scott. Well, who's the actor that died on Twilight Zone? Oof.
I don't know. I get them all mixed up. There's too
Yeah,
too many of
much.
these.
Yeah, there's too much. But I mixed it up with heart, and it's actually it was bowels, and I
True.
should have known. But it's still her swelling up and everything that does line up. But we finally move on to Urban Legends 3. This one's Ghosts.
Oh, and we got to drop the music right here.
Yep. This is Jay's favorite. He loves this.
Hey man, this one. I mean, I think it's kind of a little bit obvious. That little riff right there kind of influenced our riff a little bit. No,
little bit. I made it without thinking about it, but looking back, I'm like,
it's in there.
Maybe,
maybe it's in the cement mixer.
Well, yeah. When I first played it for you, you were like, you know what that reminds me of?
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, we'll use it then.
Yeah,
that influenced us to use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one. So this one starts off with ghost photos, right? So I went through the painstaking task of going through and telling all these ones were. But you have, so it starts off with grandma. So it's a woman holding a kid in the back door. It's obviously
it's leaves reflecting.
Well, this one, yeah, this is just light and leaves reflecting on the screen door.
Yep.
Then you have this one's actually good, I think. It's called Halloween Ghosts. It's from Tombstone.
Yes.
It's the guy, the black and white one with the guy dressed like a cowboy, and behind him is a guy like halfway in the ground, and his upper body, he's wearing a cowboy hat, and he's just kind of looking to the side. I think that's a good one. Then yeah, this one definitely. On a field trip, it looks like Tombstone again with those big white tombstones with the black writing.
Yeah.
In between them, it's just like I said, pareidolia. Yep. It's just you making your face out of nothing. This one's kind of cool. It's called the Treehouse Man, and it's a bunch of Japanese girls with their like eyes, blinked out. So that'll keep you there. They are. But then all the way in the left corner, there's a tree, and there's this guy. He looks like an orange goblin tengu.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Which is cool. I like that because it's locality would make it, make it. Then you got a Ghost in the Cemetery, which is this like regular old camera photo with like a gray, anomalous form. Yeah, it's dumb. You got the outside the window, which is dumb again.
Yep.
Priest of the Pew, obviously, superimposed. The dead guy on the couch once again.
Yep.
The brown lady.
Brown lady's the one of the original, the OGs.
Yeah.
And then the one after that, the older woman that won't leave her home. That one, god damn.
I really like that one.
That's the gem in there. It's like I'm looking for the ghost, and it's like no, that picture. It's like shit. It's like a fully like realized body of a woman, and she just looks like she's just out of focus, but it's fucking creepy.
Yeah. And that's where the old lady ghost podcast. So like it just lines right in there.
Ghost girl fake.
Yeah.
Full face fake.
Yeah. But the full face
tree man ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I said it looks like Rod Stewart. Stewart in there. And then the ghost woman in the cemetery.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Bachelor's Grove.
Bachelor's Grove. Yep. Then there's like a woman in old garb backwards, looking like she's dancing. And it's fake. Mother, I do like this one, but it's most likely fake. And like it's like there's an old guy in the car that looks like he was one of the guys in Scarface. Behind him, is like an old woman with the glasses that are kind of shined out, and kind of looks like Dustin Hoffman. But I do like that one because of the vibe. I really do like that.
I like it too.
The dumbest one is the caption
ruffled fur.
This
on the
dog's
dog.
puppy died, but it never left. And it's just like the tail. It kind of looks like a dog face, but it's stupid. I do like the very last one where it's like
The
this
wispy
puppy's,
one, yeah.
this puppy's sister died, but never left. So it's like a Rottweiler on a couch, and right underneath it, it just looks like one of those shaggy, smaller dogs in like all white. And you're like, all right, that's kind of cool. I can vibe with that a bit.
Yep. And then we get the ghost videos, right? And obviously the cool music comes in because the music makes this video.
Right, this one first, yeah, just do, and then like, they keep doing the quick cut of it, and you're like,
yep,
all right.
Yep, you got the ghost that passes between the ghost hunters when they're like, doing their thing. Then you've got the ghost in the theater, and I love all the sound effects they put in here too, which is fun.
Right.
Then
Well,
you
the ghost in the theater one though, like I said, like the vibe of it and where they shot it, and it like the way it passes and comes down, the aesthetic makes it very creepy in that one. So it's like, do I think it's real? No, I just think it's a shadow of someone, but it's still fucking creepy.
Right. And then you got the security tape one. That's got to be like a pigeon flying in the background or something. That one is not convincing at all to me.
Right, but before that, you have the door slam of like they got like, can you close that door?
Right, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
it's fine. But it closed, and you're like, okay, bullshit. And now that's all the time we had to spend on that. Now we can move on.
Exactly. No, because you can't see the bottom of the door. And if you can't see the bottom of the door, you can't. I can't take it for genuine.
Even if you can, super or hot glue with a fishing line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Ghosts, Brad.
Yeah, ghosts.
Although those doors are very heavy. Yep. And then we get the security tape one that I just said, which is ridiculous to me. And then the ghost passing the road. I mean, those are one of those old school ones that's like, whoa, what is that? And then you look at it now, it's like I don't know. That one you could just leave up to like, I don't know.
I just think it's a smudge on the windshield and the angle of the camera as they go.
Yep.
Because you literally can see the movement on the road and the camera moving, and it's probably someone in the back seat in the middle trying to get the road, and they go, oh my god, look at this. And it's just some some smudge.
Yep.
Still cool.
Then we get into the ITC section, the instrumental transcommunication. I think this is just, I hated this even back then. I was like, this is so stupid. They're like people taking pictures of TVs
that's what it is.
TVs talking to each other, basically.
It's literally a bunch of pictures of TVs.
It's like, I get where they're going because they talk about that open loop. If you take a TV that's on static, which you really can't even do anymore, an old school TV on static, and you put it in front of a camera and just have it basically film, the void, essentially, you'll get stuff. But it's like, will you though?
Yeah, but no, there is a couple cool pictures that look like a cool art, but you're just like, that could just be someone's cool drawing or painting.
And that's somebody fucking with, it's just people putting old photos. I hated that. That was in, this phenomenon was in like an old episode of like In Search Of from like years ago. And this maniac guy who said he was like, communicating with his daughter through the TV. And it was this is such nonsense.
Gets included later.
Oh, it was just a guy filming a TV.
Yeah.
And it was just a bunch of bullshit. He was an Italian guy.
Yeah, we'll get into that because that's because that comes up at the very end.
No, I just think this phenomenon is just nonsense.
Yeah, and that's they based that and EVPs on the whole movie White Noise, and they did so much more with the ITC stuff where you're like, okay, but then we move on to Ghost Audio, and now we get EVPs. Some of them are classics, but that are used even in the White Noise trailer.
Yep.
So we get. Busted. We have get out, and then we have a child going hi. We also have we have someone with like an Irish accent going, "I'd love to find me stone."
Yep.
And then this kid going, which is the creepiest if it's real. It's like, and then it goes, no.
Yep.
Which was the end of the White Noise trailer at the time. If you're listening to the show, we love EVPs. They're some of our favorite stuff.
I mean, none of these hold a candle to the original from Sightings.
Nope, they don't.
Not even close.
Not even close. Not even close. But these were the ones that got kind of that mixed in with the ones from Sightings, like the I was seeing the war, which they said was I will see you no more. in the trailer, and it's like, shut up.
No, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And a couple of those other mixed in with these ones. So these were the big ones. Plenty more have come out, but they did their due diligence at the time. It was hard enough as it was, and then they give you a. There's one last thing for you to see. So you're sitting there like,
Oh God, yeah.
So then it's basically what looks like a dorm room with bunk beds. Then it goes, look closely at the back door. Do you see it? Look closer. And then all of a sudden, from the back door, a fake ghost comes in the camera, scares you. And then they go, oh, we got you. JK Cinema part 3.
Yep.
Yes.
Good times.
Yeah, it is good times. They got you. They got you.
No.
But now we go on to Urban Legends Part 4.
UFOs.
This is the shortest of all theirs. I think this is only like 7 minutes.
Yes.
It's
They're
the least.
all,
They're
all terrible.
Yeah, but this is the least compelling. Like this one,
by far.
So it starts this new music that Jay loves.
No, I love when they get into the photography. And it's like an alien rave. It's like it's like I don't know. It reminds me of a certain song. I can't think of it. Is it Rude Sandstorm? I don't know, but in space.
Maybe let's compare the two. All right, and now. All right.
Yeah,
I mean, you had a point. Space the rude. But yeah, so here's what they give us. They give us The Visitor, which is
and I love the music at this part too, when they're just
it's just one of those like stupid, dumbass, like almost like UFOs that like it's like almost you put two hubcaps together for magnet and throw it in the air and take a picture. Yeah, that's called The Visitor. Yeah, right. Then they do The Landing, which is this like alien gray outside of a window, kind of like doing the like. Oh, don't take a picture of me.
I hate all these.
Right, and then there's the
one looks like Lil Mayo.
These two, the landing and the capture. Yep. The capture is an alien in a brush doing the same thing but leaning forward more.
It's the day Lil Mayo showed up on Earth.
Right. But he was way cooler than that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Because it probably took time.
They were like, what do you want in your sandwich? She's like, Lil Mayo.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, Lil Mayo. That's what they, But this one kind of looks like they took their theme from the Skunk Ape. Pictures that we talked about previously, but they did it like, oh no, don't look at me, and he's like bending over more, and then The Experiments, which is literally the alien bust like from the video of the Fox, the one that came out in the UFO report, where they're like checking his face and everything, and then it's just literally a bunch of more fake photos, and then they move on to ancient paintings, which they go through a quick clip of just like 6 point paint like parts and paintings from olden days.
Yeah, I mean, and actually I think that's one of the most compelling things that we have, like some of these weird UFOs that are in like Renaissance era paintings and old master paintings of, people in these craft in the sky, and it's like I don't know, man. These are some of those are pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, there's even stories where the problem is they literally go boop, 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 clip them, don't go over any of where these paintings are from or what times. And these are, like you said, these are some of the cooler ones where you're like, they were even seeing like, what is that an interpretation of? What are they even seeing back then?
Yeah.
So no, I agree with you 100% there. But then they fuck it up again and they go to modern photos, which is just like 3 photos,
blurry bullshit.
Yeah, of blurry bullshit. Now they move on to videos, and the first one, it's a cool one. Everyone should know this. So it's basically looks like it's from the space station. You see the curvature of the Earth, and there's just some, anomalous white specks floating. You see a big flash from Earth.
Yeah.
And then one of the white, lights starts moving away, and then you see something that looks like a missile near miss it as it moves away.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It is compelling. Do we know if it's real? I don't know. We know it's a real video from space. Do we know what the flash is? Do we know what the things? No, we don't. But it's still one of the cooler,
Yeah.
possible UFO space videos. So I think that's one of the ones they got right. And then they pull this bullshit out, which is obviously like a college project or someone that's like in, video editing school. And it's just like this stupid UFO flying over a city. Looks like it might be China. And like as that's doing it, they like all of a sudden this like alien face from the side gets superimposed like it's a fucking, high school video or a picture from the 70s.
Yeah.
And then it goes away and you're like, all right, that sucked. And then it just cuts to the War of the Worlds, which is actually no, that's where they do that the clip of the rocket. I'm sorry, it's after that. So you switch those, but then they do the other one stupid. They end with the dumb one, and then it's just more down, and it's stupid, fake alien pictures, which moves us on to Origins. You want to take this little intro here, buddy?
Yeah. I mean, this is this is like the next one where they tried to go like just full urban legends. Like they try to, dissect a few. And they start with which is actually an interesting story, the paint thinner story.
It is. It is an interesting story.
Apparently this is true because they covered this on that Lore. Remember that Lore show? Didn't they cover this on Lore?
I think so. There's 2 seasons on Amazon Prime. Were we shouting out Aaron Mahnke right now?
I didn't say his name. You did,
right.
Dick.
I'm back on Lore because
I'm Aaron. Is that fucking podcast still on?
Yeah, and now he actually added a new thing called Legends, which is actually pretty good.
I hate his voice. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I hate it. And that man was Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. Like I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, folks. First one, they break this one down. Like I was saying, there's like I think there's 5. Is there 5 in this one? Yes, there's 5 in this one, and the first one they give you is the paint thinner one. Long story short, there's how paint thinner was created, and essentially it was this kid, kind of smart. Parents died. He gets willed all this money, but there's ghosts in the house, right? Essentially, and his
name is Gillian Sykes Odell.
Yeah,
and his parents were killed one night. Before this, the house at one time was known as the most haunted house in American history, which is funny. And there's balloons in my face. Mm-hmm. But the mother, one of her high school students, who was in love with her, breaks in, kills her and the husband.
Yeah.
And then himself. And then, he's distraught. But he starts to hear voices. Now, he was a graduate of Purdue University, and he starts hearing voices in this house. So he decides, being a chemist, to start trying to figure out a way to get rid of these spirits. But then he ends up reaching out to one of his professors at Purdue who was interested in the paranormal, and he goes, "Why don't you study these ghosts? And also, use your chemistry background. There must be some kind of compound or element that you can isolate that will be able to get rid of these ghosts." So he starts doing that. He's rich. He doesn't have to work again because he inherited the fortune from his parents. And he ends up building a lab in his basement. And he's working. And sometimes he starts hearing his mother humming from her rocking chair. And he also would times feel his father's, reassuring hand on his shoulder that he's doing the right thing. Now, he also would hear and feel dread a lot of times, and he would wake up to one of the kitchen knives balancing on the headboard of his bed, and he was like, that's it. I have to figure something out. And once he did speak to the professor at his old school to study him, work on this, he worked so much on this tonic that he ended up burning his eyelashes off, and he came up with it, and he ended up, calling it ghost tonic. And when he threw it on the walls, the paint would run, and it would turn into what he thought were like these faces, like running down the wall. And he'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm killing the ghost." And he thought the smell of the mixture was quote unquote dead ghosts. So eventually he's going through it, and he thinks he's made it. It's probably the fumes and the chemicals, but he ends up apparently selling it to another one of his wealthy classmates who actually sold paint for a living. He was a paint manufacturer, and with every can of paint you got a little bottle of ghost tonic to correct your errors. So that eventually they turned it into paint thinner. So it's like, all right, that could be cool if it's true.
Apparently, it kind of somewhat is, and I used it quite a bit when I used to oil paint, so I can I'm smelling it right now.
Yeah,
it's actually just dead ghosts.
Yeah, that's the smell of dead ghosts, dude. Did we take out fucking suspenders or overalls guy with paint thinner? You should start spraying around it.
I don't think it works. That suggests a physical, I'm just going to go and say it doesn't work.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So second clip, we get the Sloppy Joe thing. This is completely fake. Completely. Yeah. I don't know where he got this idea from, where it came from, but he suggests that the idea for Sloppy Joes came from a diner owner in the 1930s, caught his wife with another man, killed them, cut them, and ground them up to hide the evidence. The next day, and his name was Joe, he invited their families to the diner and told them they had run off with each other, and he served them this ground body meat with a special sauce and said that this is his specialty. And then when the father of his wife bit into the sandwich, said, "This is a little sloppy, Joe," hence the name. And then from then on, the Man-Wich became the special sauce for Sloppy Joes. This is all made up. None of this is true at all.
Well,
Not
that's
even
why
close.
this segment he went with Quick Clip. It was like Quick Clip.
Yep.
And then it was just like, he was like, I don't even want to type this into text to speech. He
No,
was like, I'm just going to.
Yeah. Yeah. There's actually almost all of these in here are kind of ridiculous. You got the Lions roar.
Yeah. Well,
From the
from MGM. Yeah, it basically, the studio apparently just wanted the lion sitting there studious and looking proud. It was Hollywood 1928, Hollywoodland, if you want to call it. Now, movies were young and all this stuff at the time. The industry was young, but MGM was leading the pack. They wanted something to assert dominance because they were, the big studio at the time. So like, all right, let's get the lion, or a lion, and the film crew here that was well trained. They had a good rapport, like you could with a lion, and they just wanted to film it sitting there really strong. Now, at the time, two recent immigrants to the country, Russian-Italian-born Boris Regina and Polish-born Karol Makanovsky, we'll go with that.
Sure.
They became friends, and they were just like, dude, we don't want to work. We just want to make money in, this country, which you're supposed to be able to do. So one day, the filming of the Lion started. It was 2 streets away, and these two friends decided they were going to rob a bank. Now, it was only, like I said, a couple blocks away, 2 blocks away. These guys were street hustlers, and they planned this robbery for weeks. They're like, all right, after we get the money, we're going to go into that empty warehouse over there, change clothes, and make our escape. So they do it. They get it done. They hop into this warehouse, and not realizing the filming was going on, and the lion is the only one that's seeing these two gunmen, and it wants to protect this film crew it became acquainted with, because they're all looking at it and it's only seeing what's behind them. So he roars 3 times, then jumps off its platform and decides to decimate Carl to protect the film crew that it loves so much. Now, here's the funny thing. Boris apparently soils himself, and he ends up running out in the street in a panic, and he gets hit with a cop car that's on its way to the bank he just robbed. Carl took a couple of days to die. Boris was killed instantly. So the film crew convinces MGM. They're like, dude, this is way more sick. Keep the roar. Way more sick. And apparently, the public story that they said was that This is our homage to the Columbia University fight song. That's how we did the Three Roars. And it has nothing to do with it. But JK Cinema insists you have to dig deeper into the MGM Studios history to find the truth.
Bullshit.
Yeah. But it's a way cooler story if I wish that was the true story.
Yeah, I wish it was a true story too. You know what else I wish it was a true story of? The Teddy Ruxpin story.
Yeah.
Complete fabrication.
I still say it's the true story. Like anytime
It's
I meet
fun.
someone, I meet someone, I'm like, do you know?
All it
about
was is
the Ruxpin?
no, and I wish it was true too. There's not a shred of evidence. There was no Ruxpin Tavern. None of it. None of it is real. Just real quick. I mean, they try to suggest that the Teddy Ruxpin, that beloved cassette playing bear, and his what was it? Grubby was his pal.
I think Grubby was. I think that's a good call.
We had them both, me and my brother. But they said in England in 1972, owners of an old historic tavern decided to, redo the place. And they cleared out this rarely used closet and found this teddy bear. And the workers swore that it would move and talk to them as they went. First, they found it scary, but in time, they found it comforting. And this is the Ruxpin Tavern owner, Rideros Moss. He patented the idea of a talking teddy bear, and he named it after the tavern. And soon, the Teddy Ruxpin was in production worldwide. Nope.
He
Not
was
even
like,
close.
"Wait, whoa, this is money in the bank. This is money in the bank. Talking teddy bear."
Nope, not even close. The guy who created it, I'm not even going to go into it, but the guy who created it, he worked for like Disney at some point, so he knew about animatronics, and he was just like, hey.
He's like, we put this tape in, it goes along with it. This is
You know what's funny is when you put in like an Ozzy tape or something, or Metallica.
Oh, yeah, we would do that all the time.
funny.
Aerosmith, it was awesome. But I swear to God, I will still tell that Teddy Ruxpin story like as like a fun fact to people. Like when we start getting into like ghost stuff, I'm like, do you know Teddy Ruxpin? And they always go, oh my, and they never look it up.
Yep. And what's funny is that there's also the next one, the origin of the Christmas Carol, also complete bullshit.
Now in this one, I highlighted that they're back. That they did in the last two. They didn't do text to speech, but in this segment, they
British.
go back. Yeah, really bad British. It's like American 19. It's the worst.
London, England, 1888. A young child went missing. Her name is Carol Bowles. Since her disappearance occurred a week before Christmas, many folks got involved with
They try to tie together like this is around the same time as the Jack the Ripper killings, and there was people they wanted to open their doors to help people search for this missing girl. None of this is true. I mean, they're saying like the Carol Pole or Carol Poles, I forget her name, in 1888, and all you have to do is just a quick Google search, and Christmas carols have been around since like the 1400s, and carols have meant songs since then. Yeah. It's even spelled a different way back then.
Yeah, but the story they go with is that in London, England, 1888, a child named Carol Pulse goes missing.
Yeah, they're like, hey, what else is going on in London at that time? It's like, isn't that the same time as Jack the Ripper? Yeah, put him in the story too.
Yeah, so they go, okay, all these people try to go on the search, but Jack the Ripper's still out there, so they won't open the door. So all these people decide to just start singing the songs of Christmas to harbor some goodwill, and they go, oh my God, they're singing Christmas songs. And they open the door, and they're all of a sudden they're like, thanks for singing, we haven't seen her, and they close the door again.
Yep. Just nonsense. But what's funny is this just points out more about this whole series is that you couldn't just everything wasn't on the internet at this point. Like you could look stuff up, but this kind of detailed stuff, like Wikipedia, I don't even think existed yet.
No.
So it was like,
you're getting your new lore. You're getting your new folklore from this. This was modern This was early internet folklore, which I love.
Yeah, this is prepping people to be, believe the QAnon conspiracies.
Bro, you skipped a whole real one. You missed fucking the actual Legion. We Are Legion, which was Anonymous, the original Anonymous.
Oh yeah. I'm just talking about now. Yeah. Oh yeah, Anonymous.
Anonymous was where, and Anonymous is still going. Anonymous, they're like, we took down we took down your computers last week. And you're like, it's just a guy in a Guy Fawkes mask. And you're like, stop it. You didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do anything.
No, did nothing.
But this brings us on to part 6. Right now, we're like, all right, we're getting on to some good stuff. And this time, in this one, they start urging at the end of the video. This one gets a little more production, and you hear actual people like, at the end of the video, we encourage you to vote which you think is fact and fiction, trying to do the TV show at this point. And what do they start us off with, Jay?
The Belmez faces. Now, this is quite possibly the only good thing in this entire episode. Because this one, this was these spectral faces that were appearing on these walls in Belmez, Spain. And this woman who lived there, Maria Gomez Pereira, she noticed that faces were forming on her kitchen floor. And, she tried to wash them off. They wouldn't come off. Her husband destroyed the face with a pickaxe, re-cemented the floor. Everything looks okay. Week later, face comes back.
Yep.
And they started coming back in, like, different forms. There's that one main one with, like, the weird lines in the face, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they decided to excavate the floor and found headless human skeletons and bones 9 feet deep below the floor. And so they fix it up. The bodies were removed. No big deal. Headless bodies.
Yeah.
And then they fixed everything. Looks great. Faces come back. No big deal. Paranormal experts were called in and took a piece of the floor to their lab. No paint or dyes were detected. They sealed the house and covered the floor with with
like a floor jacket, and they sealed the edges of that.
Yeah. 3 months later, the house was reopened, and the faces had developed and moved around the floor, like they were in different spots.
Yep, all that. There was more detail, and it moved, and there was more. The video shows a lot more of the pictures than we can describe.
Yeah, they're pretty creepy. And then experts went on to record some EVP there. I think we want to drop some audio of that.
I continue very.
Pretty weird.
Yep.
And then Professor Hans Bender, a paranormal expert, called the Belmez faces the most important phenomenon of the century. Remains unexplained until this day at the time of the video, but that woman died in 2004. And then they tried to continue it and to say that it was still going, and it just didn't work out.
If you see the picture of the woman, if you see the picture of Maria Gomez Pereira, she looks like the pumpkin pie lady.
Yes.
The pumpkin pie! That lady. Yeah, she looks there. It's really funny. So then they add this, and this is where I kind of got a little mad realizing where I am now in my life. And pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Yeah, the German lady that can just get pestered by her son.
Yeah. So with the next clip they use. All right. So we talked about this earlier, the Twilight Zone movie, where I forget the name of the actor, but him and 2 other child actors all got not just decapitated, but halved. So it was halved, quarter halved, and then decapitated of kid, actor, child. And but in the beginning, when they're doing, or in the cutscenes, with Dan Aykroyd and what's his name? I just sent you a movie with him, with Brandon Fraser. But whatever. They're doing the whole Book 'em Dano scene and trying to remember the movie. And in the background of the windshield, you see this globulous form, and then also a little light.
Yeah.
And I never really noticed it or paid attention to it, but now that I do notice and pay attention to it again, I'm they're probably not even driving. They're filming, on a soundstage, and they're
definitely not driving.
Yeah, so they're just doing the thing they do with the movie projector.
You got the rigs on the outside of the car. So it's probably that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's just a light, and they're like, "What was that?" And you're like, "Well, it's nothing."
Yep.
Which
Terrible.
is the next thing.
Yep. Oh, the alien rods. We're not even gonna spend any time on this. It's rods. It's stupid. It's dumb. It shouldn't. It's no.
Yeah, and the clip they went with was from the same on this show, Proof Positive, that used to come on after Ghost Hunters when it first started. Same clip from 2006. base jumper jumping in a tavern or a cavern, and then like the rods and they go pictures. Rods, it's literally poor camera quality and bugs flying.
Yep.
Literally what it is. And then, oh man, this was also on Proof Positive. This clip, but it's a woman in Oklahoma saw this like ghost on her surveillance camera, and it's like a ghost like kind of turning and circling, almost like it's like a see-through action figure on a rope that you just spin around in front of a camera.
Yep.
And they end up going into saying how like the wind was still that night, so there's no way it could have, blown anything around unless you're out front doing it. The woman sent out another employee. They said also that, and then did a little interview. They also said 3 cars on the lot that night were involved in fatal accidents. And then they were like, could the ghost be looking for their car?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty spooky.
Yeah.
And then we get the last clip, the picture of the chupacabra head.
Not yet.
No?
That's in evidence. That's in the next one. It starts with the shitty movie clip.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And then they do the Montauk Monster, which is basically
that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you mixed away. But yeah, they do that, and they start talking about it. And they do like, oh, could this be? And it's a bunch of pictures.
That's right. That's in the next one. They show the picture.
Yeah, in the evidence. And I capped it off. That's how they capped off the last one. But yeah, it's just once again they do the silly chupacabra thing, and maybe, but they do that. They show a bunch of clips of this one awful movie. I don't even know what it is. I don't even want to venture to ask what it is. Just some dumb movie.
Yep.
And yeah, and they show a photo of the Montauk Monster. Yeah, which is just basically looks like.
I think they figured out it was a raccoon. A hairless, like all the hair was gone. It was from that animal testing facility that's there on Plum Island.
Right. And I also think it was they said it was probably an English bulldog too. Like it could have been that because the way the jowls were. And the way the mouth sat with the face bit off, like let's say just regular insects bit it away. They leave that in its body. That's what it looked like to me. But anyway, that was how they ended that. And you're still like in 2005 right now. You're like, this is sick.
Yeah.
You're like, this is sick. And then the last one of the video. It's Urban Legend 7. This is evidence.
Yes.
And they give you this sick intro. Which is where they start just playing Stairway to Heaven, right?
Yeah.
At the clip where it's, if there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now.
Yep.
They start you there.
Yep.
There's another bake week. They have that part. All of a sudden, they rewind it and you hear, oh, yes, really Satan. The ones who little path will make me sad was by Satan. He'll give those hymns 666.
No clips on this. We're just getting a live read from Ken.
Fools know he made me suffer silent. But what that translates to is
right. This is the famous backmasking incident with the music of Led Zeppelin. This shit's absolutely true. This band was involved in some wild shit, particularly Jimmy Page, and we'll get into that when we finally do our Aleister Crowley video, because
Aleister Fuckface.
Yeah, we'll get into that because he was dude. That guy, Jimmy Page, was way into the occult.
Yeah.
So this stuff, I'm sure it's real. Like why wouldn't it be? I mean,
all right.
Here's to my sweet Satan. It's
not only
clear
that,
as a bell.
There is literally there's a process they used to go through. Mm-hmm. I talked about this on one of our Down the Rabbit Hole episodes before, but they would say, take the master to the altar. Now, A master track, especially back when, all right, even when I first started recording and like actually paying someone to record my stuff, you would need a DAT tapes. You had to pay for the DAT, which is the highest quality form of a tape, right? But
we gotta get the DATs back anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I realized that.
Yeah. Yep. Blair Witch, beautiful. Back then, the reels were like even higher quality DATs. It's the big reels that you see in like, you know, any movie back in the day. Now, what they used to do was, what they had to do was called shelving. So they had to shelve it, which was basically running the whole mix from one DAT to another, one tape to another, and you would get bleed through a lot of times. So, like on their song "A Whole Lot of Love," you hear the way down inside that would bleed through.
Yep.
Now, after they did that, they were apparently supposed to take those tracks, what they called, or those tapes, to the altar, which actually has been talked about by Led Zeppelin, many people, even Madonna still has talked about it. There's been interviews with her in the studio where they go, oh, well, you say you're a witch? And she would go, well, there's way more powerful witches, and we've talked about this, way more witches powerful in this room than I am. But they would do rituals with the tape. That's just what it was. That's literally what Hotel California is about. Is the shit you have to do to maintain out there.
Right.
So, sorry to send you down that rabbit hole. But, once again, I'll clearly read you what it says backwards, right?
Yeah.
So it's, here's to my sweet Satan, the one whose little path will make me sad, whose power is Satan. He'll give those with him 666. And all evil fools, he knows he made us suffer sadly. And that's in that one clip where it starts off, if there's a in the But even, why would he say we? Like, that's not bake.
No, I'm sure it is. I mean, this could be backmasking on albums could be a whole episode. I mean, this is just, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying that one part, like I always wondered too, as like liking them and a fan.
Yeah.
Like, what does he mean bake? What does that mean?
Well, you know.
It's sweet Satan. That's
yeah.
That's what it is. But
well, they don't keep
that. Well, that's where they start you, and you're like, oh, I'm in for it. And the way the devil face pops up at the very end. You know?
Yep. And then they hit us with some really cool shit about orbs. It's the usual nonsense. However, I do like the little clip about where they talk about the back cover of the Red Hot Chili Peppers Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Yeah. Because I remember an interview when I was younger. I think it was in Rolling Stone or something. They talk about where they recorded that album was being very haunted. And I remember that story. I was like, all right, whatever the orb picture. And that's kind of funny that they have that on the back because you have that weird thing. But the fact that where they had recorded that album being, haunted, they had a bunch of experiences, and I forget what it was. And I should have pulled it up for this episode. But apparently all the members had paranormal experiences during the recording.
Yeah, we'll go into that later, but we're just going into what they give us, even though I come up with like full fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm surprised you didn't like the he took 10 photos in the Paris catacombs, and almost all of them had water.
Almost all of them had dust or water vapor.
You're kicking up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, the Red Hot Chili Peppers one's cool, and they even spelled magic in the tradition.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's what they were going for. Like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, that was their whole shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Ugh.
Yep.
But,
and then,
yeah, guys.
I was going to say, then we get onto another section of ghosts. We get some, we get a couple picks. We get we go into the ITC again, right? And then pictures of the TV ghost, which is just like my eyes roll into the back of my head.
Right, but before that, it's not even just they do, like, you're in this room and there's like this, like, it looks like an empty bed frame.
Yeah.
And it's just like light crossing over it. And they're like, what was that? And you're like,
car headlights.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, that's cars from a window on a shiny lacquered wooden frame.
Yep.
And then, yes, more ITC stuff.
Yep.
But that's when,
Klaus Schreiber's daughter died tragically. And the communication, the picture of her where, like, it's the still picture and then the mouth changes. I'm like, come on.
Well, no, that one wasn't that one. That was
it wasn't with that?
No, that one was the one that's actually creepy, where like when they zoom out and he's like looking up at the remote, and I'm gonna do the pose for you.
Okay.
the pictures like that of the
Yeah.
person looking back, the mouth doesn't change. It's all just dark, and it's just like, this is a fucking zombie. But not saying that's what it is. But the picture itself is actually really fucking creepy. But him smiling at that, thinking that's his daughter, that goes into some weird shit. Like, even if she's dead, and even if she's rotted, it's still my daughter. And you're like, oh, buddy, all right, weirdo.
That's just a guy processing grief in a really weird way.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Right, I'm just saying, but the picture that he's showing, like, yeah, this is great, and he's like smiling. You're like, yo, do you see that fucking picture?
Oh
You're like,
my god!
yeah, oh my god!
I don't know, man.
I'll send you that picture again if you don't remember it.
No, I do remember it.
It's cool.
Definitely creepy, but it's like, I don't know. It's just it doesn't.
I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying him going like presenting.
Yes.
Hey,
oh yeah.
see this? That's my daughter on the other side, and you're like, I don't want to go to.
No, it's like, when's the last time you left your house, you fucking creep?
Yeah, you fucking lunatic with your fucking VHSs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh God. The
ghost photography, you get that ghostly mist. Come on.
Yeah, no, they're just trying to re-spark it at this point. There's evidence, and the sparkler one. So it's two kids with their sparkler spinning, and behind the one kid, it's clearly just like his mom or aunt, just standing behind him, and the light, which is clearly present in the 1990s fucking photo. Yeah, wow.
Yep.
And then my favorite,
your favorite, well, that we know the Navy ghost photo. It's a good one, man.
Yeah,
it's a good one. It's got lots of witnesses. You get the picture of the guy behind the other guys. It's clearly him. I mean, that could have been faked, but I still like it.
Yeah, I don't even. Sure, but like
it could have. I'm just saying, but I still like it.
It's and they said the guy he died two days earlier on an attack on the ship from World War One. Yeah,
because it's got a great story around it. It definitely works.
Yeah.
And then we get the another segment of EVPs, right?
Yep.
And I don't know. They're okay.
Well, these are the ones that also they added to the white noise trailer. So you have, and then a little kid going, I play with you.
Yep.
Are you joined up by anyone, Nancy, on the other side? Are you with your parents or anything?
Can you see us in this house? Or are you trapped in your own existence?
And then they just immediately go to and here's where I'll tell a little quick story. I was on E-Bomb's World or the other one, Newgrounds, and I had my laptop on my chest close to my face, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm just going over videos, and they're like, real ghost caught on, commercial.
Oh, the haunted car commercial.
Yeah, it's the one with the car. I never saw before. It just popped up that night.
Yep.
And I'm going around, and the fucking, green, gray zombie ghost pops in. I literally I can't even make the face I make is like literally picture me biting my tongue and going like, woo, and I tasted metal. It made me taste metal, how bad it got me. And that's what they end that portion with. And I was like, fucks.
It's funny because I have a story with this clip too, because I remember when we saw this the first time, and it got a bunch of people, and we kind of set Christina up because they're like, because we get her, she is a mark for any kind of jump scare. It's so easy to scare her. So I'm like, this is gonna get her good, and I'm like, oh yeah, watch this. And, cars driving down the road, it pops out. She flew out of the fucking chair that she was sitting in front of the computer, and then was like, ah! And then she looks at me, she's like, I don't know what to do. My mom was there, my brothers were there. We laughed our asses off.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
That's so funny.
We got her so good, and she's like, "You son of a bitch!" And like, it's a running joke because anytime that's been coming back up on like stupid videos on Instagram.
Dude, that was like in I want to say 06. is when it came up. That wasn't when it first happened. And they added it to like, you know, it might.
Nah, it's probably 04, 05 because that when Christina saw that we weren't married yet and we got married in 06.
Okay, I'll say I'm just going off of like who I was with at the time. You're probably right.
You're wrong, Ken.
No, you're
wrong.
no. I said you're probably right.
No.
And dude, I was like, no, it scared me so bad. Like I said, I don't know how it happened. I tasted metal. I was
I
like,
don't know,
what?
having some kind of like psychotic break.
Yeah, it got me, dude. Because I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, like a little mist in the window.
Yep.
And that was before the big jump scares.
Yep.
Like they weren't doing those pranks. Those pranks weren't existing back then.
No.
You had to go to a spooky haunted house to get those.
That was only in live and in the flesh.
Right. So basically, they end it now. They go with more UFOs, and it's just a picture of like a waning crescent moon and two, amorphous blobs. And then they flash in the alien autopsy photo from the documentary.
Stupid.
Yeah, that everyone knows that we covered. And then they pretty much end it again with the chupacabra voted, but this is the one that you were talking about where they're holding up the wood. Honestly, like I want to be like, yo, that's a fucking good mask. And like it's a guy holding up it's like a bald head.
Mm-hmm.
Really sharp teeth, and there's like a kid poking up the lip.
Yep.
Show the teeth.
Yep.
Whatever it is, man, that's good. Like whatever.
Created by effects legend Jordu Shell. I know.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's great work. I actually put. I had to delete that and move it because I thought it was in the first one too, and I said awesome mask.
Yep.
I said holding up awesome mask. But
yep.
I
think it was created. He created it for like his own like portfolio or just for like fun. It's not from a movie. Like the guy he's worked in the movies for years. He's like an effects guy, mostly doing like masks and like shit. And he did it for something for like a portfolio, and it made it into this video as like real evidence.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
What gives it that verisimilitude kind of reality kind of thing is them pushing up the tooth.
Yeah.
That gives it a degree of realism.
Right. No, it totally does. And that's like, it's so cool. And I said, like on my last note, cool, but has to be fake. Like, I didn't even know it was the artist. I knew it's fake. But like, it's just so cool. It's such a great design because it's not even like a chupacabra thing. That's like an alien head. That's like when you hear like Zimbabwe of like these like different like scaly monsters and like doing all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but no, he created it specifically to be chupacabra.
Oh, good for him because I don't see that. I see something way scarier than a chupacabra.
Well, I think that because remember for a while, I mean, not even for a while, when that was still kind of like plausible, the whole chupacabra thing, people were suggesting that it was, an alien, not a cryptid.
Right, but like with the whole like thing in line, I don't know. I don't see that as a goat sucker or something that just like sucks the blood. I see that as it has the the teeth. It has the sharp teeth. It looks very, very scary.
Fearsome.
Yeah, fearsome. Yeah. So I just like took that. I'm like, oh, that's a beast.
Yeah,
it's a monster right there.
Yeah,
but I love it.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the best things of all these videos. And then they end it with this Stairway to Heaven again, the reverse,
How could you not?
Yeah. It's great. And like, once again, we went through this, most of it's fake, but if you go into it and just enjoy the ride, it's so fun. It is.
Fun. They're great. And if you did, like Ken said, if you came up with these, not even came, I mean, they're 20 years old. I mean, I was already, out of college when these came out, but still, these were so cool. And,
I was
the
17.
time that they came out, when they came out, they were just so much fun, and they were just a thing that everybody passed around. And I remember everyone talking about JK Cinema, and it's just it's cool to revisit these because they're not obviously some of them haven't aged well, but it's still hit a heartstring because it was just like, man, these are great. And I remember I was texting Ken yesterday. I was like, man, I'm rewatching these. Like, this is like comfort food. These are fucking great.
Well, the funny thing too is like we said early on, like no one was doing the long form stuff, and then it started becoming all long form.
Yeah.
And now we're back to that point. It's like TikTok videos or
Yeah.
like YouTube videos.
Yep.
And they're either, way too long and they all have that same, thumbnail where it's like two faces like, oh, and then it all says scariest night in this place. But like this was like
3 a.m. challenge.
Right. So this is like when, the paranormal stuff was coming back again. And this was someone just with like flash art doing this stuff. And it was just like, it's cool shit. And then when you find out later, it's like, okay, most of this is false. But like, convincingly, you're like, okay, some of this is kind of lore. It's lore, and that's what a lot of folklore is. And it was just so good at the time because, like, none of my friends cared. Like, I was always trying to get people to like. I was the only nut job that would like. Murdoch would like it, but like, he was on the bigger and better of planning out trips to Byberry. Actually, that was after that. But, like, I was the nut job. And then when you were like, yo, you're J.K. Cinema, I was like, bro, I am J.K. Cinema.
Yeah. You are
like,
J.K. Cinema.
Yeah, and, like, that was the thing. Like, another thing that we bond over the time. And it was just, it was awesome.
Yep.
For the time. And us being as jaded.
Now everything's fake. Fuck that, it's fake.
Yeah. It's all like, we do our own independent research. We text behind the scenes, and then sometimes we live dive, and it becomes, we go, fuck, this is fake too. But we want this stuff to be real, and this was the time where the world was bigger. The world was much bigger
for sure
than we are now 20 years later.
Yep.
But we still love going back and like popping these on and being like, oh shit, remember that? Remember when you thought that was like was legit?
Gnomes can really?
Dude, stop. Don't even I don't even want to. I have to like find old friends that like opiates, we have to go back and pull them out.
Christ.
We'd have to go pull them out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but no, this was just in the time of like, the world was much bigger. Magic is real; it exists, and it isn't just the 1%. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It isn't just the 1% anymore that we go, oh, this has some merit. Now, at this point, we're like, we go back this, and this is just like prior to modern, Ghost Adventures or all these other stupid shows. Yep. This is just like with us monster kids or us ghost kids we were doing and looking for. When it popped up, we were the most excited. And we were like, wow, this is on this site that we, pull up these, flash games and flash videos, and it's mostly comedy, but all of a sudden it's like
Ghost videos.
And you're like,
and this is probably these videos are the ones that kind of kicked it all off because they could see, modern YouTubers and TikTokers. They saw that, paranormal shit pulls people in, and it still does, even though, they're really running out of ideas now. Time for a new thing. It's time for a new J.K. Cinema to show up and,
Dude, we just gotta hit up Justin. We gotta hit up Justin because the end of, I think it was, I want to say part 5. It was the first time there was like a girl's voice recorded. And she's like, if you have any clips, please send it to Justin at JK Cinema. We should reach out to Justin.
Get him on as a guest.
Yeah. Be like, yo, what's up, bro? How do you feel?
Yep. And that's, I mean, they were great. I love them. I still love them. And it was cool to, to dive back into them again.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you. And I think that's all that's fit to print for JK Cinema. So closing statements. I mean, in the days of early documentary makers on the internet, JK Cinema is king.
Final, closing statements on this for me is, it's ODP canon. Yep. And it's, it's part of the sacred texts.
Even if a bunch of it is fake, it's still canon.
It adds to the flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are a flavor folk over here.
Sure. Flavor Town.
So, we are Flavor Town. All right, guys. So for this episode of Other Dangerous Podcast, I've been Ken James.
And I'm Jason McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky Thank you for listening to Other Dangers podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangers Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.